Greetings, it's late at night where I am, past midnight, around 2 o'clock at least, p.m., and dark out. But I'm out in the bright porch light, on the porch, high as a kite, speaking like this, in a third person, I think. Is this not? Well, I'm talking to a camera, so I guess it's kind of a third person. Now it's a third person. I'm talking to myself. Okay. I'm going to review all... I miscounted my fingers. That was supposed to be 3. As in the original 3 X-Men movies by Fox Studios. I give all 3 X-Men movies a 10 out of 10. So was it nothing like the comics that I love that these films are based off of? And they're intentionally, that's only their intention to do that. To not cater what the fans wanted to see from an X-Men movie. Because as Bryan Singer, the great brilliant Bryan Singer that made the first 2 X-Men movies, said that he didn't like any of the comics that the X-Men were based off of, basically, so he wanted to just, deconstruct it. He liked the idea of the X-Men, but he just didn't like the whole execution, I guess, of the X-Men. I guess he doesn't like X-Men, but he didn't like... He doesn't like the X-Men comics, but or anything to do with X-Men, so... But he likes the concept of the X-Men, so he did this movie. At least the first 2 ones. Third one was a different guy. One different guy that was a director. And, so, when you consider all of the baggage of the lack of love of the source material that Bryan Singer made the passion with these 2 movies, was the lack of love of the source material, but loved the concept of the X-Men, I guess. So he wanted to basically do a real world concept of X-Men. That's why instead of yellow tights, we get black leather jumpsuits. I'm not joking. Instead of yellow jumpsuits, we get black leather jumpsuits. Oh, whoopee. Don't take a piss on my childhood, Bryan Singer, and put a joke in the first X-Men movie saying that the old costumes suck. We like the emo X-Men costumes better. Fuck you for getting Cyclops to make that X-Men punchline. You made X-Men the leader Cyclops, to made fun of poke fun of the comics costumes, how they look. Like this, what you made, it looks so much better. It looks like the dress for a fuck fest. The X-Men look like the dress for an orgy fest. A fuck party. ready to jerk each other's off with their mutant powers. X-Men. Wait, is that why they dress even worse than they do in the comics? You made them worse and more. You made them. No, the problem is that it looks like they're dressed for a fuck fest, a fuck party. The X-Men are dressed. That's what the black leather makes me think of. One fucking orgy organized by some sort of weirdo. Like a cult leader. That you usually see in one of those South Park shows. Adult shows. That's what the X-Men are dressed like. Like they're dressed to go fuck the Ku Klux Klan. And they crack. When in reality, they're going to get fucked. Because they look worse than that. They look so stupid. The costumes look so lame. They're lamer than Ben Affleck's Daredevil costume. Personally, I thought Daredevil had a better costume from 2003's Daredevil movie. Sure, it was leather, but it was the right color leather. It was red. Red leather. This is as good as the comic book. This is the X-Men movie comic book boom movie that started the comic book boom of from the 2000s, thanks to the X-Men. I give these X-Men movies a 10 out of 10. All three of them. Sadly, the costumes never change. Well, sort of. See, once you get to the first two costumes and the first two X-Men movies are pretty much identical. No colored scheme difference to change or break them out. But once we get to X-Men 3, X-Men The Last Stand, you'll notice that something's different about the costumes this time. Each costumes, even though they all have the X-Men logo, have different color, high color contrast to kind of, like, well, Wolverine's one, his is yellow, his X is yellow symbol, and Iceman's X is blue, and Kitty Pryde's, I think, is pink. She's the one that can walk through walls and solid objects. That's Kitty Pryde, by the way. She's only in Last Stand. That gets a role in Last Stand. She was kind of fairly well developed in Last Stand, I thought, along with Iceman. returning. Uh, and he's a badass in this movie. He shows on his most Iceman of useful abilities in this movie. I want to say what I do like about X-Men 3 United. Shit. I mean X-Men 3. Scratch United. I did not mean to say United. What I liked about X-Men 3 is that majority of the times, I think a lot of the third installment shows the most potential of the mutant powers of that these characters are capable of. It shows the most of each character's overpowered potential of how destructive they can be. For each character, each character has their own power. I feel like they're more powerful than others. For mutants, good guys and bad guys. The X-Men versus the Brotherhood. And I'm just going to call them Brotherhood, they're not called that. They're just led by Magneto, and Magneto is Magneto. Recruiting, stirring up a crock. Stirring up trouble, I mean. And X-Men 3 a lot in planting the seeds for a war. That we see play out in X3. Which I thought was cool. Now, I will say the problem with X3 is not the most best structured of a story compared to X2. X-Men United. Sadly. X3 shows the most is the most loudest of the X-Men movies in terms of non-stop action with the mutants against the bad mutants. And the X-Men taking a stand for this. Actually, I will say I liked about this movie, even though it felt a little more rushed than X-Men 2. I will say I enjoyed X-Men 3. I give it 10 out of 10. And, I enjoyed the first X-Men movie. I give that a 10 out of 10. Even though I didn't like the joke about the jumpsuits. I mean, I didn't like the joke about the comics. The joke saying the emo X-Men's Fox did looks better than the old crap. That made my blood pressure a little up. I remember when I first saw that. So, I think my favorite X-Men movie has to be X-Men 2, definitely, out of these three. Yeah, I give X-Men 2 a 10 out of 10. Titled X-Men 2 United. But thanks to Doug Walker, also known as the nostalgia critic online, people now these days thinks is X-Men X2 X-Men United. Oh, well, that was actually when that was really just more of a suggestion. Yeah. I mean, you know, stupid bug. Things like that just really confuse me how people can be gullible and follow trends. Anyway, I give these three X-Men movies, there's a lot of bug coming out here, so I'm just going to give this a 10 out of 10. Subscribe to my channel by hitting the bell and then hitting the subscribe button in that order. First bell, then the second subscribe. Good, okay. And then I want you to hit the thumbs up. Okay. Hit the thumbs up if you like this content. And that's why I give all three X-Men movies from Fox X-Men movies a 10 out of 10 each one. So action-packed fun. Great popcorn films for me. I recommend for you guys too, my audience. I recommend them. All three X-Men movies get a 10 out of 10. Oh, 15% left. Oh, I should stop recording now. Goodbye.